My pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of the self. I welcome all of you for today's session of Akhanda Bhagavad Gita. Today, we are continuing our contemplation on the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, sloka number 23 and 24. We'll start chanting.
योत्स्यमानान् अवेक्षेऽहं य एतेऽत्र समागता भारतराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धे युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवा सञ्जय उवाच एवमुक्तो ऋषिकेशो गुडाकेशेन भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम्.
So today we are contemplating on the sloka number 23 and 24. It's about a spiritual warrior. We think Mahabharata is a war. Really about, there is an outer war and the inner war. So inner war, Arjuna is the spiritual warrior. So let us understand the meaning of this sloka. Gayatri ji, can you explain the meaning?
Yeah. So in this shloka, Arjuna says, I want to see the warriors who have come to fight here with the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra, who is Duryodhana. And then Sanjaya says, O Dhritarashtra, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, the conqueror of sleep, Sri Krishna then drew the magnificent chariot between the two armies.
So Mahabharata happens in two dimensions. Outer dimension in a war field. In a war field called Kurukshetra, which happened 5,300 years back. That is called metaphysical. So not metaphysical, Adi Bhautika or physical. Really Mahabharata war happened. Mahabharata war also happens within, inside. It's called Adhyatmika or spiritual. So Arjuna represents the spiritual warrior, a seeker who is fighting with the outgoing tendency of the mind. So it describes the inner war field. In our life, Mahabharata is there in the outer world. When we interact with our office, corporate, family, society, there's an outer war, Mahabharata. More importantly, there's an inner war, spiritual war, which happens within. So that war is being described in this shloka. So let us understand the meaning of this shloka. The Arjuna tells Krishna, okay? Krishna is the charioteer. Please take me to a place where I can see all the warriors who have come to support Duryodhana. Who is Duryodhana? He is the son of Dhritarashtra. He is the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. So then Sanjaya says, Sanjaya is the reporting to Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya has a vision by which he can see what's happening in the war field and he can report to Dhritarashtra. He tells Arjuna is a conqueror of sleep. Conqueror of sleep. Someone who has conquered sleep. Who is from the Bharata Vamsha. Sri Krishna, who is called Hrishikesha, takes the magnificent chariot between the two armies to show Arjuna the warriors on the other side. So let us understand the meaning of the spiritual meaning of this sloka. So this is called yogic meaning. The spiritual meaning is two types. One is yogic meaning, which is actually what happens within us, and the jnana meaning, which is actually transcendental meaning. Right now we are focused on the yogic meaning. So in this, we have seen earlier, Sri Krishna blows the conch. The conch represents the Omkara or Pranava sound. So that sound, in a deeper meditation, that sound is heard in our brain cavity. It's called Anahata Dhvani. It makes the mind very silent. So now, there's a beautiful shloka in Upanishad. So this comes in the Mundaka Upanishad. Pranavaha dhanuhu sharo atma brahmatat lakshanam. That means for a spiritual seeker, Omkara is the bow. The soul, Jivatma, is the arrow. The aim is Brahman or God. So Omkara is told as the Pranava, Dhanuhu, bow. And Jivatma, using the bow of Omkara, aims at God, Ishvara, Bhagavan, to become unite with the God. Soul wants to unite with the super soul. Jivatma wants to merge with the Paramatma. So Jivatma is represented as soul. And what is this? Mind and intellect are the focused mind and intellect. So here, Arjuna is the spiritual warrior, a Jivatma, which is myself, who is focusing on realizing God. And Arjuna's symbolism always, Arjuna, you can see here, this is Arjuna is shooting an arrow for looking at the reflection in the water below. The target is above. A fish is moving above. It's called Matsya Yantra. He has to shoot the arrow of the, he shoot the eye of the fish. You have to understand how much concentration is required, how much focus is required, how much steadiness of hand is required to shoot that arrow. So Arjuna represents the self-control, self-discipline, concentration, focus, which is actually required for a spiritual seeker. In the language of Vedanta, we call it as Shama, Dama, Tidiksha, Uparti, Shraddha, Samadhana, Mumukshatva, complete focus. So that's what Arjuna is. Arjuna is the spiritual warrior, Jivatma, who is on the spiritual journey. So now there's another beautiful illustration in this. Arjuna, this is the bow of Arjuna. The bow of Arjuna is called Gandiva. Gandiva is a bow. It's a bow of self-control. It is a very special bow. Arjuna had a bow called Gandiva, which he used in the warfield. But really deeper spiritual meaning of Gandiva is the bow of self-control. Do you know where the bow came from? So there was a sage called Dadichi Maharshi. Dadichi Maharshi was meditating. Devatas came and gave the weapons after fighting with the demons, Asuras. Devatas deposited weapons with Dadichi Maharshi. Please take care of these weapons. So Dadichi Maharshi, with this power of mantra, converts the weapons into water, drinks the water, and hides the weapon within his body, because in his ashram there's no place to hide. His only body is the only place. His ashram is a small place where he can hide the weapons. After some time, again the Asuras fight with Devatas. Then Devatas come to Dadichi Maharshi. Please give back our weapons. So then Dadichi Maharshi says, your weapon is, I have already swallowed it. Then he leaves his body, giving up his, what you call as, the spinal cord. The spinal cord and backbone of Dadichi Maharshi, lot of weapons were made. And the backbone of Dadichi Maharshi becomes the weapon of the god of Devatas called Indra. And other bones become weapons. Some of the bones were used to make the Gandiva, the bow of Arjuna. See, these are all, there's a deeper spiritual meaning here. Okay, story is Puranic. The Puranic story explains Adi Bhautik, physical, or Adi Daivik, metaphysical, and I'm telling you the spiritual meaning of the story. So Dadichi Maharshi, in a sense, was a pioneer on the energy control in the spinal cord. That's called Sushumna Pranayama. The Sushumna Pranayama awakens the divine energies in the spinal cord. So that's the meaning of Devata Shakti, which will destroy asuras. So that pranayama is called Sushumna pranayama, which we teach in Atmashana Kriya, Atmashana Shakti Session program. Sushumna pranayama, and that is supported by backbone, spinal cord. Government of India has recognized the sacrifice done by Dadichi Maharshi and released a stamp in his honor. These are the two medals. It's called Paramavira Chakra. For the Indian army, one who has done the highest sacrifice, Paramavira Chakra is given, and that Paramavira Chakra has the emblem of the bones of Dadichi Maharshi to indicate supreme sacrifice done by Dadichi Maharshi for the cause of Devatas. In reality, Dadichi Maharshi focused on a pranayama called Sushumna pranayama, which can give higher powers, divine powers to human beings. So Arjuna's bow is called Gandiva. The bow called Gandiva was actually from Devatas, it went on to Brahmaji. From Brahmaji, finally it came to Agni Devata. So Arjuna was gifted this bow of Gandiva Dhanusu by Agni Devata. Another important aspect, Agni is actually Manipura Chakra, the third center in our body, navel center. So Agni Devata gives the bow of self-control to Arjuna. It gives a focus. So in a sense, the entire Mahabharata is Adi Bhautika, physical. It is Adhyatmika, inner journey, which happens in the subtle body. So that, there's a message. So in each of the Mahabharata shloka, various names are used. The name used for Arjuna is Gudakesha. Okay, Gudakesha is the name used. At different names, somewhere it's used as Dhananjaya, somewhere it's Arjuna, like that. And in this particular shloka, the name used for Sri Krishna is Rashikesha. Rashikesha means controller of sense organs. Who is the controller of sense organs? The Sakshi, the witness, is the master of sense organs, not the controller. So sense organ, Rashikesha, Sri Krishna, is the witness in us. It's called Kutastha Chaitanya. So one who sees through our eyes, one who hears through our ears, one who sees through our tongue is called Rashikesha. The witness consciousness or Sakshi are called Kutastha Chaitanya within us. The name Arjuna means shining, one who is shining. He is luminescent. He is shining with the spiritual energy. So that's why he is a spiritual warrior. Arjuna was a warrior in the Mahabharata, and Arjuna, in the spiritual sense, is the spiritual warrior, a seeker, a sadhaka, who has focus and concentration. So Arjuna is called Gudakesha in this shloka. Gudakesha means one who has conquered sleep. It has double meaning. In the metaphysical sense, in the physical sense, or the bhautika sense, a warrior, when he goes to warfield, he cannot sleep. Because if he sleeps, somebody can come and kill him in the sleep. So he should be alert all the time. In the sleeps, enemies can attack. So Arjuna has conquered sleep. That means even if he is sleeping, even if a small sound is there, he will go and fight. He is alert and aware in sleep. But Gudakesha has a deeper meaning. Gudakesha is a spiritual warrior. A spiritual warrior who is meditating, he should be awake, alert to the happening within the body-mind complex. He has to be alert to the sensations, feelings, emotions which are rising. He has to be alert and aware the outgoing tendency of the mind. So Gudakesha means a spiritual seeker, a spiritual warrior who is alert, awake in meditation. So then Arjuna is also addressed as Bharata. Okay. So the shloka says Gudakesha Bharata. Bharata represents the ancestor of Pandava and Kuru dynasty. Kauravas are the outgoing tendency of mind. Pandavas are the uplifting tendency of the mind. The ancestor is called Bharata. So Arjuna is said, Gudakesha Bharata means reminding him of reminding Arjuna's ancestors. But Bharata has a spiritual meaning. Bharata means Bha means Jnana. Rata means wisdom. One who is immersed in wisdom, one who is enjoying the wisdom, one is fully enlightened, one who is established in fully enlightened consciousness is called Bharata. So each sloka, each word has a deeper meaning. One is physical meaning and the spiritual meaning. So Arjuna is addressed as one who is working towards awakening for what? Full enlightenment, Bharata. Okay. So then other words are used. I already explained. Bhishma is the strong ego. Dhritarashtra is the blind mind. Duryodhana is the outgoing tendency of the mind. Drona is the deep-rooted impressions, samskaras. So this is the spiritual journey of the soul. So this particular shloka has a deeper connotation. Arjuna, the Gandiva, okay, Arjuna who is wielding Gandiva, the Dhanus, also giving some of the deeper requirements for meditation. In meditation, it's very important that we sit straight. A warrior always has a straight position. Okay, the bow is the Omkara, right? So the bow is the Omkara. In meditation, the sound of Omkara is heard in the brain cavity. But for the Omkara sound to hear, the energy has to rise, energy and mind has to go back from the Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Adna. So the energy has to rise. Energy has to rise in the spinal cord. For energy to rise in the spinal cord has to be straight. A bent spinal cord won't work. So this is wrong practice. Bent spinal cord. What is the right practice? The seat should be in such a way that it should be the support the lowermost backbone, so that the spinal cord is straight. So then what happens? The energy movement in the backbone to the Muladhara to Adna to Sahasrara, Adna will flow smoothly. So right posture is also mentioned in this sloka. The Gudhartha, deeper meaning, also tells about the Omkara, Pranava sound, which will help the soul to realize Brahman. And also the sitting meditation posture of alertness of a warrior is also mentioned. So in this sloka, Arjuna asks Sri Krishna, I want to see the warriors of Kaurava, the warriors who have come to support Duryodhana. Who is Duryodhana? He is the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra is in the war field. Dhritarashtra is the blind king, and Duryodhana is son. But really Dhritarashtra, in the spiritual sense, Dhritarashtra is the blind mind. Bhishma is the ego. So the blind mind has son, means outgoing tendencies of the mind. Duryodhana, which constantly goes out to seek happiness in the world. A spiritual warrior like Arjuna or Jivatma, a seeker, has to be alert and aware about the various tendencies which are generated by the outgoing mind, Duryodhana. They support those warriors who have come in support of Duryodhana are tendencies of mind, Vasana and Samskara, which will go out. So we have to be alert. So he prays to Sri Krishna, who is Rashikesha, which means the Sakshi, inner witness, that I want to observe, I want to be aware of these enemies. That is the meaning of this shloka. All of you are welcome to look at our website, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our YouTube videos, like our videos, and share with your friends. Namaste. Any questions are there? You can ask. Any question on YouTube? Anybody has a question on Zoom? Yes, there is a question on YouTube. So there's a YouTube question I'll read out. This Ramchandra is asking. Ramchandra is asking. So anyone sadhaka who has attained Shat Sampati is in a way spiritual warrior. So Ramachandra, the spiritual warrior, the terminology is used is in the sense of yoga. Yoga is about conquering the mind. Yoga is the yogic path. Bhagavad Gita tells about two paths. Path of yoga and path of jnana. Path of yoga is conquering. I'll conquer the mind. I'll turn the mind inward. I'll attain the mukti. It's a path of a warrior, yoga. Whereas jnana, there's nothing to attain. There's to develop inner qualities and realize, drop the ignorance. So spiritual warrior terminology is more applicable to yogic sense compared to jnana sense. So jnana is a path of more of dropping. There is nothing to attain. It's not like a war. It's just observation and being aware and alert. But definitely a spiritual seeker, jnana on the yoga path, jnana on the path. We should not call him as a warrior. Spiritual warrior we can call in the yogic path. Ramachandra is asking, is there a spiritual meaning for the word called dadichi? Ramachandra, I am not aware of the spiritual meaning word called dadichi. So Ramachandra is asking, what is Gandiva in my life? Meditation itself is Gandiva. So Gandiva is the bow of self-control of Arjuna. So the Gandiva for a path on yoga is three aspects. What are they? Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. That is the Gandiva for a path on the yogic path. For a path of person of Jnana path, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa is the Gandiva. And understanding Omkara for a Jnana path, understanding the significance of Omkara as told in Mandukya Upanishad. To understand the Vishwa, Taijasa, Pradna and Turiya and get rid of Adnana is called Pranava, the Omkara. Omkara should be the bow, Gandiva. In case of a person on yoga path, hearing the sound of Omkara or Anahat Dhvani in the Sahasrara, Adna, is the Gandiva. Yes, in my talks I have told. Sir, you have told in talks, a real Mahavira is one who has attained Shat Sampati. Yes. Finally, the Mahavira, the word, a warrior, we should not take in a very little sense. One who has victorious, one who has attained Shat Sampati, inner qualities, Shama, Dama, Tidiksha, Uparti, Shraddha, Samadhana, Mumukshatva, is a Mahavira. He is a great hero, right? Also, in yogic sense, he is a spiritual warrior. He has conquered the inner enemies. One who has conquered inner enemies is called Arihanta in Buddhism. 6 inner enemies he has conquered. He is a great hero. Mahavira means great hero. So next question is, if somebody has a back pain, they are not able to sit straight, then how should they meditate? Those who are having back pain, take support, back support. Do not cause more severe problem for the back. Use support, use pillows, whatever is comfortable, and meditate. Any question for people? Is that any other questions, Ram? So any other people, any questions from Zoom?
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Just thinking again, Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra that he's using those words, right? The Rishikesha, Gudakesha, Bharat.
Yeah.
It means he knows the wisdom, he
Yeah,
knows God is on the field, right?
Yeah, right. He is not an ordinary reporter. He's a special reporter.
And yet Dhritarashtra is still, I mean, just looking at it from perspective, it means there is the knowledge that this is God on the field. He's advising.
Yeah.
Yet there is still the war.
The mind is a blind mind. No, Dhritarashtra represents the blind mind. And he's supported by Bhishmacharya, strong ego. So how the mind will accept some words of wisdom?
Right, Prabhuji.
Dhritarashtra is always focused on mamakara, my children. He is not focused on dharma. He is not focused on wisdom. He wants to only reporting what's happening there.
Right,
Sanjay is telling, okay, Gudakesha, one who is Dhananjaya, who is victorious, Rishikesha, one who has spiritual sakshi, all those things. But this is not going to head up Dhritarashtra. He is not getting it. Even for many people who are reading Bhagavad Gita, these words, the spiritual meaning, they don't understand. Any teaching of Sanatana Dharma has 3 levels of meaning. Adi Baudik, Adi Devik, Adhyatmik. If you don't understand Adhyatmik meaning, the spiritual teaching will be lost.
Right, Prabhuji. And again, remembering this is the inner battle and how we have to be very careful about this.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.